This is Deadmau5 for LoopTV.
So you've just produced a sample pack for Loop Masters. It's called Xfer or Transfer. How was that for you, sort of putting the collection together?
Well, it was kind of a culmination of like a bunch of hits and shots that me and Steve were using, and one of the philosophies, I guess, kind of behind it as we were doing it is I've been listening to electro house and just house in general over maybe from 2007 to 2008, and I can hear the same sample in every track, and I can name it, and it all comes from one library that will remain unsaid. It just drove us crazy. Yeah, so we kind of went on a mission to kind of record our own sounds instead of cutting and pasting out of already released tracks and then just throwing it onto a CD and say, here, I made all these. Well, well, I cut and pasted all these, and you can have all these. So we took a more generative approach, and we got out all the stomp boxes and pedals and old synths and stuff, and did some like acoustic recordings of like hand claps and all that stuff, and kind of gave it a bit of a process too. So
I mean, one of the things that a couple of the people have said is it's quite a sort of rich in its production as well. You sort of have a depth of sound to all the sort of loops and
I think it's a lot of the processors that we're using, because like I said, a lot of the other kind of sample libraries out there just kind of jack from existing production, so you're getting a real mishmash of a lot of different processors and stuff like that. So I mean, we were pretty meticulous about our recording methods.
Steve Duda, your long-term partner in crime now with BSOD, and that's kind of how it all started in the UK, certainly with that first release, This Is the Hook. How did that come about? Was that sort of originally a bit of a piss take that sort of went happily right?
Well, yeah, it was like an exercise in futility for us, because we were just we were producing all sorts of stuff, kind of Radiohead sounding stuff, drum and bass stuff, just really weird music and stuff, and we wanted to kind of take all that and then as me and Steve pitch it to all our friends in the industry in LA and just see if we could get on a write with someone and produce a track for someone else for some quick cash, some pay the bills kind of thing. And then we just thought, you know what, this house thing's doing pretty good these days, let's try that. I was involved with clubs and club music for all that time as well. I was a light guy at a nightclub in Niagara Falls forever, and then I was upgraded to barback from light guy.
Nice.
Just good upgrade, yeah. So, and then I worked in a record store that just sold vinyl for house and stuff like that. So I was always immersed in it, but never really, involved in it.
You very much took this sort of technological approach to music when a lot of people were still a little bit sort of being a bit backward about it.
It was around that time where VST just came out, and and then we're now announcing Free Filter, and it's virtual studio technology and all this stuff. So I was working with a lot of studios in Niagara Falls, one ground loop, and they were still using all the DA88s, and the only thing close to a computer that they would use is just a Windows machine with a Motu. The old 2408s, and then he would just replace that with his DA88. So he'd just multi-track, but he would do all this EQing on the board, all the outboard effects, outboard and all that stuff, and then just go right into the computer, so he could just save this whole session and then recall it later. And he thought that was the most amazing thing in the world. And at the time, now they're doing these things where you can put your reverb on there, or you got these EQ inserts, and you got this free filter that's just magically going to turn your track into a Celine Dion record. So
hopefully not.
I remember I could count the number of VSTs on my fingers and toes, and then that's all that there was really. So I checked out the SDK, the software developers kit, and just booted it up in my libraries in C and started playing around with them. And I think somewhere down the line, I started more writing the music and doing the stuff, and then Steve stuck with the programming and all that stuff. So we went kind of two different ways, which worked out
It's
great.
been very complimentary in terms of it.
I'm the application, and then he's the developer, you know, kind of thing. So it just kind of went like that.
What sort of kit and software are you actually taking with you now? Because I know before you're quite restricted in a DJ box with a laptop in terms of just space.
Yeah.
Are you bringing a lot more kit with you? What's
My first kind of cool piece of gear that I was using live that could almost kind of fit in some clubs too was the Monomy and Lemur combo kind of thing. And the Monomy is just so modular. And I like minimalist kind of a feel to stuff. It was just like so much easier to use because you make it your own. There's a new head, new head that's been in development for the last 8 months. It'll have a video system inside that's going to display my monitor only, so I'm not going to be able to see anything like where I'm standing. So like, well, maybe, we don't know yet, but I'll be looking at my computer screen through a set of VR glasses basically.
what?